Hey guys, I want to share with you an email that I just received a couple days ago. And I was talking to this person and potentially joining the program. And this is what they wrote me. I want to share this with you. Hi Mike, many thanks for your insight. I've worked for 30 plus years on letting go and on forgiveness. Also do EFT, somatic breathing, which seems to trigger me so much I've got to start all over again to calm automatic nervous system as to sleep again. Unfortunately, I'm unable to attend your offer. I see how I am next year with my financial situation is now not great. Sincerely, thank you for your offer. So, I have spoken to so many people that have been on this inner journey of learning how to let go of trapped emotions, learning how to forgive themselves, learning how to overcome anger, overcome fear, overcome stress, become more confident. And this person has been on this journey for 30 years. I've spoken to many that's been on for 10 years, 15 years, some just 4 to 5 years. Guys, there is a way to release your trapped emotions. There is a way to get out of feeling anxiety and doubt and all these things. But you have to realize that this is not a thing that is commonly taught in the public. People are teaching all of these different methods of how to do so, and to be honest, they're not very effective. I'm going to tell you the reason why. Okay, it's not that they're bad. The reason why they're not effective is because methods itself doesn't just be able to get somebody to where they want to go. You have to be able to not only have an effective method, but that method also needs to be able to be implemented into life in a certain way. It's kind of like using like a fitness reference, right? Let's say somebody wants to go ahead and lose 20 pounds and build muscle. You can give this person the best workout, but if you don't teach them how to integrate this workout into their daily life, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that they had the best workout. You can give this person the perfect diet, specifically designed for all of their macros and their lifestyle and all of that, their metabolic rate. But if they don't know how to integrate this into their life, they don't know how to deal with the moving parts, like we're about to go into the holidays soon. If they don't know how to deal with these things, it doesn't matter that it works. And that's given that this is very effective, methods. Most of the methods that I've encountered over these years and years now of me leaving the fitness industry to really dive in and understand the other parts of us as a human being, like our mind and our emotions, and in the body, it really led me to believe that there is a really huge missing link when it comes to learning how to actually release emotions, learning what is actually effective, and having a full understanding of how our body, our mind, and our emotions actually work. Because most of the time, if you ever heard of somebody would say, like, you ask them, what do you do, and they'll go, well, grounding is really good, getting out there and standing on the ground, that's good. I do some breathing and I do some ice baths, and I meditate. You go, okay. So what do you want to do? Oh, I want to become confident. I want to release my fears and all this stuff. So what do? Well, yeah, those things. You see, this is the common type of thing. People just have, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. But they're missing the understanding, the essence of why are they doing those things? What is it about every one of these methods that is effective? What part of it? It's not just I'm going to go do this and do this. If somebody just approaches it that way, then they will only get general results. Because they're not aiming for something specific because they don't even know what that specific thing is. People are doing different methods and doing all these different practices, and they really have no idea what it's doing for their body, for their mind, for their emotions. They just know, I'm just going to do it. And if they don't know what it's doing, then they can't observe it when it's happening. They can't even see the results because they don't know exactly what the results are. They don't know what the change is. They don't know what to do to make it actually effective. They just kind of nonchalantly do these different things. But yet, all of us are wanting very specific results. We don't just kind of want to feel a little better. We don't just want to feel a little more confident. We want to be confident. We want to feel peaceful. We want to get rid of that uncomfortable resistance. Like sometimes if you're around social situations and people and you feel uncomfortable, like you don't want to be around somebody. Like, oh man, I'm feeling uncomfortable inside myself just being around this person. I don't know why, but I have anxiety right now with these people. Or I want to specifically get rid of these nonstop, constant judgmental thoughts, constantly second guessing myself, constantly being worried about this and worried about that. You see, that's very, very specific. How do we do that? In order to be able to get rid of these very specific things, we have to understand exactly the specificity in what we are doing, in the method, in the approach. If you don't, then you may be doing something for 20, 30 years and not getting anywhere. You know, I share this story sometimes with my students, and I'm going to share it with you guys here. I remember I was about 2 years in. I'm about 7 years into this, what would you call it, inner transformational journey, spiritual journey. I don't even know what would be the right name, to be honest. But I was about 2 years in. Right? I left the fitness industry and all the entrepreneur stuff, and I went all in to figure this stuff out. And I remember I'm 2 years in, and I'm talking to this woman, and we're having a conversation about what works and why you do it and what's going to happen. It's all about this and this, and we're having these conversations. And then she told me, yeah, well, of course I know these things because I've been doing it for over 15 years. And then this realization came in my head, and I just go, whoa. Now, I didn't say this out loud, but in my head, I was thinking, oh my God, you've been doing this for 15 years, and you are still running into the same struggles that I'm running into. But I've been doing it for 2 years. You've been doing it for 15. And you're still running into the same things I am? Yeah, maybe I need to check what it is that I'm doing right now. What's my approach? Because I don't want to end up 13 years later still dealing with these things. Maybe something that I'm doing right now is not effective. Now, at the time, I was, watching a lot of videos. I was looking for all the mainstream ways of how to go ahead and become happier, become more positive, study more affirmations, and be grateful about things in life, and do guided meditations, and do all these wind hop breathing, all these things. And here we are, realizing that there's a lot of people doing it, and this person in front of me has been doing it for a long time, still dealing with the same stuff. So I took a step back. I said, you know what? I'm gonna not just generally just listen and just kind of do all this stuff. I'm gonna find out exactly what needs to happen for us to go ahead and accomplish this real outcome of inner journey, inner transformation. Right? There's so many different ways we can look at it. I just said it could be inner peace, right, in your body. It could be confidence. Some people call it to be authentic, right? To be yourself, right? To be fully authentic, right? And not try to be like somebody else, right? Be okay with who you are, fully self-acceptance. Somebody will look at it as being able to be present, right? Somebody looks at it as being in flow, all the same stuff. I wanted to find out what was the exact thing that could cause that. And I wasn't interested in all this different methods and all this stuff. Because there's something, if it works, if it's effective, then it's doing something. And if I don't know what that specific something is, then it doesn't matter that I'm doing all this stuff. I'm not gonna accidentally hit the nail. I'm not gonna hit it on the head just accidentally. Because I spoke to so many people. This is just one example. I spoke to many people that were way ahead of me on the game. that were 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 15 like her and beyond. And they were still on this healing journey. No, that's something is up. You're not supposed to be healing all your life, you know? No, you need to get past the healing. You need to be thriving. You got to be abundant. You got to be going after life, not still trying to patch up yourself. No, that doesn't work. How are you going to be able to fully move with power in your life if you are always trying to heal, right? As if something is constantly broken. So that's when I really dived in. I started to understand. I started to not listen to most of the things. I spent a lot of time by myself. I cut out social circles, all this stuff. I pretty much just stayed home and read the books that was not popular, that nobody cares to read. I would do things like stare at walls to go ahead and start to hack into my consciousness beyond my mind, and do a lot of people will consider to be very, very weird and definitely not socially or mainstream acceptable. That's what I did. And then I started to find out what it was. And then it started to make more sense. And now coming back, it's like, okay, now I see why these methods are there, how they could be effective. But if a person doesn't understand how to use them, then it doesn't matter. Then it doesn't matter that people are doing all these things. They're going to totally miss the boat. And therefore, they're going to constantly be on this healing journey. So if you want to learn more about this, to try to explain it all would not, it would take a while. This video, we're about 12 and a half minutes in. I'm not going to edit it. I'm just going to leave it as it is. We're going to be diving in for another 15 minutes, 20 minutes, because it's not a simple thing to understand. I can go ahead and give you the very, very short, version of it, but it won't make sense because it will just sound like everything else, which is why this stuff is so confusing. Because I can just tell you, really it's just about presence. Just be present. And then therefore, when your mind is clear, your mind expands, all the problems just disappear, and then everything is okay. But you've probably heard that before, and you're like, right, so kind of how does that work? Why does it work? I don't understand. My mind will keep thinking, and therefore I can't be present. I know that feeling because I've ran into that for many years, So, and then another question will be like, okay, how do I become present? Because I do meditate. And I go, okay, well, you can try meditating longer. Well, I tried that, but I don't got the time, or I tried, it didn't work. So then I can tell you, well, go do the flow practice, do the flow 60 practice, do it every morning, twice a day, and then meditate afterwards. It's like, okay, well, then you have questions about that. And then what about these scenarios? So questions and answers build onto more questions and questions, which then just this monster of a conversation, which I do almost every day. I run coaching sessions. Most of the sessions are about 2 to 3 hours with students in the program. We are diving into all of these, and all of these are a lot of different subjects. We're diving into understanding the levels of our mind, because there are levels, and there are 3 levels to be more specific, to make it easier to understand. We could have made 10 levels, but there's no point to make it that complex. And within these 3 levels, we start to understand things like, what does it mean when I have intuition? Or what does it mean when I'm accessing my higher self? What does that really mean? What does it mean when I'm listening to the voice of God? You see, people are saying all these different things and all these different perspectives, and this is why it's so confusing, because people from all these different angles are trying to accomplish the same thing, but everybody's speaking a different language, a different jargon, a different style, and now it becomes really confusing when they're all saying the same thing. So things like this, I help somebody connect the dots. So someone goes, oh, okay, I get what you're saying. So they're all basically saying this, and they're all kind of operating at this level. Right, they're just saying it in different perspectives, different names and labels. Right, okay, next, So then now what it does is we go through these steps, in these coaching sessions. We go through these steps to where we first understand these things that I'm telling you. How does it really work? How does your mind, your body, How does your emotions, how do they actually work? How do they function together? Because they are together. They are one. There is not this separateness, right? Most people have heard about this, right? The mind and body are one, right? The mind, body, and emotions, right? Energy is one. They are a reflection of each other. One changes, the other changes, and the other changes. But how do we go and change them in this way? What approach do we have on it? How do things get imprinted into the mind? How do things get imprinted into the body? And how do emotions get imprinted? We start to understand these things. We start to understand the layers of the mind. We start to understand about how do we program our behaviors? How do we go ahead and set up the environment to make it the best it could be? How do we go and make sure that we are approaching our practices in the best way that allows us to be in the flow with life? Because life happens and things are always changing. And on and on. On and on and on. So if this is something that you're really passionate about, and you got to be really passionate about this, you got to really care, because it would be too much. Somebody would be like, let me just take a step back. All good, all good. Somebody really needs to be really sick and tired of their current life situation to dive in, to do something about it. I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people, most of everybody's dealing with some type of stress, fear, anger, and self-confident type of stuff. But most people are not, they don't care enough to do something about it. They're just interested. I'm only gonna do a little bit. I'm only gonna lift up these 3 fingers. But if you gotta make me have to lift up the other hand or the rest of these fingers and grab something, that might be too much for me right now. Okay, all good. I totally respect that. There's a different time and place in our life. Now there are some people that goes, fingers, I will lift up my hands, I will lift up my feet, I will stand on my head. You just tell me what I need to do, and I'm gonna do it because I'm tired of dealing with this shit. I'm tired of my life the way it is. Not because my life totally sucks. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But either way, I am tired of living this way, being this way, and I'm looking for a change. And I don't care what I need to do, I'm gonna make that happen. Those type of mentality, people, they succeed. And this is the type of mentality that you really need to succeed. To be honest, if not, you're just gonna learn some stuff and okay, cool. Then you're gonna go on and you're gonna learn other stuff. And before you know it, you just have a whole bunch of information, but you're not moving forward, and years and decades could pass by. But if you really, really care about this and you really want to make a change, then those are the people that are really gonna succeed. That was me years ago. Because I really cared. And I cared so much that I walked away from my life, and I built a very connected life with the community and business and all this stuff. We were doing really, really well in the last company and the operations. There was this whole vision. There's a lot of people that depended on what it is that I was doing. But this thing inside of me that I wanted to go ahead and change, all that emotional stuff, anger stuff, depression and self-consciousness and all that stuff, lack of confidence, I wanted to change it so bad that I was willing to walk away from everything. And ultimately, as I started to open things up, personally, I realized I needed to, so I did. I'm not saying for people to go and walk away from their life, Some people could, and some people should not. That is up to every individual and up to every specific situation. But for me, the point is, that's how much I cared. That's how much I was willing to do in order to make this happen. Which is now why 7 years later, not only have I made it happen and have changed all this stuff inside of me, but I have a very, very clear understanding of how this stuff works. And I am way past all of those things before. And all of those things that I gave up before in my life, not only am I gaining it back, some things that I let go of, but other things I have 10x'd. Like a family, like a wife and children, like the way that I like to live and be. and not dealing with all of the drama that I was having every day, not in front of the screens. I made a lot of videos back in the day, behind the scenes, behind the closed doors, in the personal life where people that see me on a daily basis would know, way past that. That's like, I don't remember the last time stuff like that happened. Too many years ago. Okay, so it can happen. And I'm sharing that with you because some people go, well, maybe you're different. No, man, I'm not. I'm not different. I dealt with massive amount of stuff. And because I was able to overcome it, this is how I'm able to help people and understand what people are going through. Not because I had it good. I had a lot of issues, tons and tons and tons. So that's it for this video, guys. If this resonates with you, flow60.com. You can check out the programs there. You can link up with me. You can train with me personally, and I will help you get past this. But again, going back to that earlier message, you got to have that mentality. You got to have that mentality to go for it, because this type of program is not for those that are just I'm going to lift 3 fingers and that's it. Then you're not going to make it. I'm just going to be honest and straightforward with you. There's no point to waste your time, waste your money. You got to be the type that goes, I'm in, I'm going to do whatever it takes. And I will take you all the way to that finish line. And when you do, everything will change. Everything will change, and all the things that you've ever wanted to go and become or do and achieve, it will make sense. You will be achieving things along the way, because this program is next level stuff. We've got so much accountability, so much support. It's something I've never seen happen in online programs and just programs in general. We are diving into physical practices, transform the physical body, right? This is all my fitness-based stuff. This is everything I've learned in 20 years of training people. Then we dive into mindset things. So I want to reprogram the mind once we go ahead and unplug the energy source from the programs, which will make sense when you're in it. You'll know what I'm talking about here. And then we can release those emotions and come back into peace. And then after that, you get to go and start to actually move forward in the exact goals that you have. And we do that in the program, because there's no point to go ahead and learn all the stuff and then you don't have any support to apply it, right? That doesn't make sense. That's actually the hardest part. Learning something, learning how to repeat and do something, that's easy. You just kind of watch and go. But when you are going out there and you are actually showing up, fully showing up, you're now going to run into the real challenges. Now you're going to deal with the people that you've been afraid of. Now that's when you need the support. Most programs don't even go into that. This is like business coaching. This is like, people that are, doing stuff like that. But this is what we do. I'm going to show you how to go ahead and learn the tools, learn the methods, learn the philosophies, learn the principles, and then we're going to go and dive in. We're going to go accomplish these goals. And we do that as a group. So this way there's momentum, there's accountability, there's one-on-one coaching, there are weekly sessions, there are so many sessions. There are like 20 sessions a week, okay? Now that doesn't mean you show up to all of them, but it basically, what I'm doing is I'm making sure that people have everything that they need, because people are on different time schedules, right? We got students all around the world, and people they're available in the morning, they're available in the afternoon, they're available in the evening with the whole world time. So what do? Let's create more sessions. What does that mean? We got to have more trainers, we got to have more coaches. I got to open my schedule up. Okay. That's what we do in here. That's what we do. So there's a lot in this, and we can chat more about that. Flow60.com. Okay. If you're serious, jump in, book a call. I don't know how the website is going to change in the future, to be honest. Right now, it looks like you can book a call, and there's a chance you may talk directly to me. That might change very, 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 very soon, because my time is getting very limited. I'm spending so much time with training, operating, creating all the tools and all this stuff. But as of like right now, and probably for, I would say, the next maybe 2 weeks after this video is launched, I don't know, maybe it'll still be me personally taking on the interview calls. So, and it'll be one-on-one, by the way, no group. People are always surprised. Holy crap, Mike, I'm talking to you. Yeah, what's up, bro? We're doing a one-on-one. Yes, we are. Nobody else is joining in. So it's like that. All right, but again, that's not gonna last. That might be like 2 weeks from now. Then it's done, and then I'm gonna have enrollment advisors taking on, doing the interviews and all that stuff. So in the meantime, check it out, flow60.com. If you are serious, let's work together. Let's go ahead and solve this stuff. Let's make 2023 an awesome, awesome year. See you guys.